Good evening to one and all present here. I'm happy to welcome you all to the fourth day of the 1 week faculty development program on nuances in writing research article. It is indeed a great pleasure to introduce the resource person for the day, Dr. S. Balamurugan, Assistant Professor and Head, Department of Commerce, Government Arts and Science College, Avinashi, Tamil Nadu. He is a devoted and innovative educationist with 11 years of experience in providing visionary leadership and imparting quality education to a wider range of aspiring individuals. He is also acting as an IQAC coordinator, Tamil Nadu Open University, LSC coordinator in Government Arts and Science College. He is well versed in facilitating social and intellectual growth of students by creating an atmosphere which gives mutual respect to the students. He has good knowledge of planning, organizing, coordinating, and monitoring all types of curricular and co curricular activities for the overall personality development of students. He is a highly motivated, dynamic, and single minded public speaker in pursuit of excellence with flair for connecting young minds and nurturing as well as fostering their development to their utmost potential. He is a treasurer in Tamil Nadu Government College Teachers Association, Government Arts and Science College Avinashi. He is also a secretary for Rotary Club of Coimbatore, Sulur. Apart from that, he is also a parai artist, photographer, and a traveler. Thank you so much, sir, for accepting our invitation. You can take over the session, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Sri Krishna Swami College for Women Management and all teaching staffs and non-teaching staffs of the college and people, those who are hosting the session. I mean, the organizing team, my best wishes and thank you for inviting me. Uh, Let me go to the slide. And there is an internet fluctuation here. So, mm, if at all, if my line is disconnected, the organizers kindly do call me, right? If at all, if it happens, I'll share my slide. Karthikayani, we need to upload the slide only. I mean, share the screen. Yeah, got it. That's what it is working very slow. I just, stop my cam for better connectivity. 1 minute, I'll connect it. So hope you all can see my slide. See, I live near Western Ghats. Okay, I'm living in the foothills of Mardamalai. So sometimes the internet may not be good, so that I disconnected the video for the sake of better connectivity. But hope you can hear and see my slide. Is that okay, right? Okay, I'll proceed. Okay. So my topic is research and research ethics. So that is what I thought of, taking it, for the session because we all know that research it is going in a different way after this, pandemic. Because of this pandemic, in-person research activities and access to lab equipments and data collection. All these things will become little tough anyway. So just to go, it's just like connected. My name is Rotarian Dr. S. Balamurugan. I'm working as an assistant professor, head in Commerce International Business Department. So it is a small
So,
introduction about me.
excuse me. Sorry for interruption. If you want to on the video, you can on it, sir.
Yes,
It is.
yes.
If you want to on your video, you can on it, sir. It is not confirmed.
See, it is the
Your
problem with
PPT.
internet.
Okay,
Can you
okay.
see it?
Yeah, your screen is visible, sir. Your screen is visible.
Yeah, screen is
Yeah.
visible, but the thing is, my Wi-Fi connectivity is not working, so that I
Okay.
connected to phone.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so that is the problem.
Okay, sir. No issues.
Okay,
Yes, you continue, sir.
but you can see the screen, right, ma'am?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It is visible.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Right. Because it is taking too much time. Okay, that's what. Okay, so before we go to the session, I just wanted to tell you that empty a cup so that it may be filled. See, if you sit with the mindset that you knew everything, and in the end of the session you won't get anything. I mean, with that mindset, if you sat right, you will never receive anything. So I just want you guys to empty your cup so that it may be little filled. Okay. Um, Nelson Mandela used to say that education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. Of course, you all, faculties, you are the most powerful source for bringing education into the people's mindset, into the students' mindset. So, hats off to all. Because of this COVID, you know, I told you right, the normal research activities and other things, normal teaching, and all got collapsed. So my humble suggestion is maintain social distancing and please wear a mask and be kind and help the needy people and respect the healthcare workers and police forces and be aware of fake news and stay home, stay indoor, and stay safe. And whenever you're asked to go for the college, kindly go anywhere. So before we start this session, I just wanted to thank your mother and my mother and your father and my father and your teacher and my teacher because these three people are most important people in our life. So without these people we are nothing. So with this I just start. See, the ground rules is, see, it may be a webinar or it may be a video session, so you are not present, in front, but somewhere you are sitting there and taking a look at it. But if if you are lean yourself, or if you didn't maintain a better posture and gesture, right, you'll feel sleepy. So my humble request is, kindly give a kindly maintain a better posture and gesture for the sake of better understanding. Okay, so let's start. See, in every session there will be two kind of people will be there. One person who never cares. Whatever you say, right, he will never think of anything, and he will on his own terms. And another person who will amaze for whatever we say. For these two people, I'm telling you that we are going to start the session and kindly listen to this. Okay. Before we start into ethics of research, I just wanted to tell you that research being affected by COVID-19 uh, in a different way. It is just it impacted in faculty members, postdocs, and technicians, and graduate students' educational progress and their career, even work-life balance, and sometimes if they are in other country, it affected in their immigration status also. So majorly because of this COVID, the in-person research activities are being, stopped. For example, if female scientists are there, yeah, some gender inequality will be there, because they if they are with some young children, they have to take care of them, and they will not, they may not get a chance to concentrate more on research. And due to this pandemic, many people were not able to access lab equipments, and data collection was highly hectic. And the people, those who are doing primary, primary database research, it was, paused, because of this. And somebody, those who are into, research position, who is, yet to get the, better tenure and promotion, it's all being, scrapped. And most of the time teachers are even, concentrated in this, online teaching, so they skipped or gave less importance to research. So, scientists, those who are, going across the countries, are got affected. Manuscript reviews were delayed, and even mm, peer review process, kind of, expertise reviews are got delayed. And and balancing between all these things, home work, research, and because of this lack of communication between guide and what took place. So, and if it is a funded project, budget reductions are took place, and sometimes it disrupted the traditional research. So this is what the stage we are in now. And we all know that this, this made a tremendous, I mean, this disease made a tremendous effect in research. But also, it gave something good also. See, so because of that, we increase this secondary data-based researches and web-based service. Web-based service, for example, Google Forms. See, nowadays, many research, scholars, they are, sending n number of, questionnaires through Google Form only. It becomes very easy. There is no need of paying money, and it was very comfortable. People are getting easy. People are completing their survey in a easier manner. And many research conferences and programs on research, it is taking place on, through virtual mode. And many journals, they removed this financial barriers and online data collection systems, and that those are all increased the research capacity. See, COVID-19, it made, it made us to research via social media and Zoom, Google Meet, and through Google Form. And the professional relationship across the globe was increased, and that was helped in research also. So this COVID-19 has played huge things in a positive way and negative way in research. Okay. But here I just wanted to give you something about research ethics. See, research is nothing but we used to have a solution, or we will find a solution for a problem. But how we are going to find a problem, that is all about, research ethics. For example, see, for some people doing, stealing money may be right. For example, if you ask a thief, stealing money will be right for him, and he will have reason for it, right? But people, those who are, living based on, living with some code of conduct, they will, hesitate to do things like that. So research ethics is also just like that, whether we are going in a right way or wrong way. So that is all about, research ethics. And see, while doing research, see, we should we should follow certain rules and regulations, and we should do the research in a better way. For example, justice should be served. So, for example, you see, if if a male person is doing a research on, uh, a male's happiness is being improved after marriage, whether it is getting improved or not. uh, you know he may take that research based on his marriage life also. That is what the conflict of interest they will say in unethical research practice, that is called as conflict of interest. So whatever you felt, you will do it as a, you will provide that as a result. So that may not be good. So that is what I'm telling. So you need to follow certain rules and regulations, and it should go on, it should go based on justice and dignity, and confidentiality should be there. See, for example, if you're doing some research on let's say um, financial position of people, or for example, if um, maybe their sexual interest towards people, if you ask about it, if you're doing a research about it, and you should maintain confidentiality. And see, research is always come up with certain ethical principles and practice, moral principles and practices, like, you know you need to do this, and you need to honestly do this, and there should be a privacy for the person, who is coming as a respondent to your research. And there should not be an anatomy, autonomy should be followed, and non-maleficence. You see, if somebody is being used as a, sample for research, they should not get affected because of our research. It should not give them any trouble actually. So we need to do research in such a way, so that, you know uh, they coined five things to be, five things are the unethical research practices that should be avoided while doing a research. So that is what, I thought of sharing it with you. And with that, I just wanted to tell you certain rules for doing, you know doing your doctoral study. If you're doing your doctoral study, what all you need to do, those things only I just pointed out. I'll share it in the upcoming slides. And one is, you know see, nowadays in research, there are certain things are being done, like, even though it is unethical, but it is being done, you know easy, in a easier way. See, for example, if a question, if some person is collecting a questionnaire, and that questionnaire, totally, the questionnaires are around some 536, let's say 536 questionnaires, sorry, 536 questionnaires, the person is collecting. But for the sake of numerical, compounding, he's making it as 530. If you do, if we have, 530, it will be easy for us calculations and other things, right? The rounded number. So if we do things like that, it is clearly unethical. It is a kind of fabrication which they are doing. So there are some five common unethical practices I took it here, and we'll discuss about it. And in the end, I'll give you certain rules for the game of PhD. See, foremost and first thing is duplicate submission. They will submit it to, multiple journals. See, for example, if I'm get if I'm writing a paper on, for example, 100 PhD rules for 100 rules for doing a PhD, something like that. See, what I'll do is I'll send it to 3 4 journals, and that's what I'm telling you. And these practices, not even considered as, unethical. See, uh, uh, it is like increasing the, number of journals, you know anyway. So multiple submissions to speed up the process. Whoever is, accepting, then it is going, but actually it wastes the reviewer's time, and it is a kind of serious misbehavior in academics. You need to wait for it. So at least it will take six months or more. You need to wait. So two or more identical journals submitting without acknowledgement is what you called as this duplicate submission. See, most of the time people are doing for the sake of increasing their, let's say, research, and sometimes the reviewers, they will work more, and they will collect more information from the reviewer, because two three people are there, they are correcting and telling, right? So that he may be come up with a good paper, so that they will send it to two or three more journals, so that all the reviewers, they will give their inputs on this article. So he will use that points, and he will improve his article, and he will publish it in journal. So it is absolutely wrong, actually. Duplicate submission and falsification or fabrication of research data. I told you, right, to see 500 day, 536 questionnaires collected, but you're rounding it into 530. And if you're not getting adequate question, adequate sample, then you are manipulating. So that is what. So fabrication and manipulation of data for coming up with, for bringing up whatever the desired outcome which we are expecting. That for that they will record, their own, data which, the data which they are expected. So those kind of research will be fully biased. These are all, most common in drug industry. For the sake of ignoring the side effect, they will do such things. They will fabricate data, and they will do this. Create physicians clinical practices, and they will submit it. So this is taking place really, actually. And plagiarism. See, um, it is very common nowadays. If you see, there are this book chapters are being published in international conferences, national conferences and all, right? Mostly, it is, cut copy thing only it is. So they are copying it from somewhere, and they're pasting it, and they're making it as a, make it, they're using their work, and they're using their name as, considered as their work, and they're submitting it, and it is taking place. But normally in research articles and PhD submission, you need to go through plagiarism. In case if you're, if you copied your work from anybody, they will check out, and they will refer it. Urkum kind of softwares they will use, and they will check whether this work is, copied or what. And see, or otherwise, if you're copying the data from somebody. 1 minute. Mostly, if you're, if you're, taking some, important point or review from somebody's work, then you can, you can give them the credit. You should, give them the credit. Without giving credit, that is what you called as, it is infringement. You are taking somebody's work without, giving credit. So that's what. So, and sometimes it may happen, accidentally. For example, if you're giving, the references of all the sources you used in your content, sometimes that will come as a, that will be, come as a, repetition, and some definitions you cannot be, changed. So definitions will come, so that only they are giving 10 percentage grace, this thing for plagiarism. So if at all, if you are, using, somebody's work, or past publication in the, research paper, you have to, give them the site, you have to cite the author, those who wrote, even if it is from the old publication, that should be done. Plagiarism, and this will take place normally, and this is a major unethical practice, because there will be two three people will write. Nowadays the guide and student, it has to be, they have to submit it for their doctoral committee, and while submitting the thesis, those are all mandatory, so that it is quite common. And sometimes this authorship conflict will take place, because if somebody contributed in that research, they're supposed to be the author into that. Sometimes due to this, they will not add, and sometimes they may forget to get the consent from a person, whose name is cited in the manuscript. And sometimes they will add extra author, and they will remove the name of existing author, before and after publication. So these are all is what you called as authorship conflict, because if you're publishing your research article, you need to pay it to the article, I mean journal, right? So at that time, they can, one author means this much, and two author means this much, and it will be there. So for that reason, it will take place, uh, and this this citing is also not based on seniority or family or professional relationship. And when nobody is contributed in the research, then their name should not be there, but people used to put it just because of the sake of relative, a colleague, something like that. So this should be done only, when the research is started, they should be clearly mention it. So that is why journals ask authors to submit their checklist for the criteria of authorship, whether who are all author, is there any author to be added. That is being called as authorship conflict, stating that I am the co-author and you are the co-author. No, you are the co-author. Kind of conflicts will take place. That is what. So if somebody is contributed, their name should be there, and they can be an author also. And I told you right in the beginning itself, conflict of interest. See, this is actually a situation where the researchers, the researchers being influenced by his own personal and financial considerations to affect the quality and at the end of the research. See, for example, if the researcher is not had, much money, then he's not, even though extension of the time may be needed, but even then, due to some personal and financial consideration, if he's ending the research and coming up for the conclusion, means that is what you call as conflict of interest. Okay. So, and even even though if you're doing that, can be completely honestly, you can you can say it with the editorial team, but somebody they will not say. Okay. So that is what. So, and one more thing I'm telling you. See, if you are in particular organization and you are doing research for that particular organization, means that may not be good, even though you may be 100% a guy who is following honesty and you're noble in heart, but there will be a favor will come, of course. You will think it in one particular point to do a favor to that organization, then that will act as a conflict of interest. So that is what, see, I told in the beginning itself. If a man doing research to find out the man's behavior, he will ultimately try to influence. Maybe his behavior is something like that, so he maybe try to put that into the research paper. So that is what. So these kind of things will create a misconduct in research, and it and the publication. So that is what. So we should be you know we should be do the research for the welfare of the society, and the research should be very honest, and our own interest should not be indulged into the research. So these are all the major things, you know duplicate submission, and fabricating and manipulating the research data, and plagiarism, copying from others, and authorship conflict. Okay, giving not giving proper credit or citing the author's work, and conflict of interest. You might have some interest, let's say, uh, you know uh, for example, you like something, if you're doing a research on something, and there is a question taking place. South Indian meal is better or North Indian meal is better, you are doing a survey, and ultimately if you are a South Indian, then you will try to go yourself in the way of South Indian cuisine. So that's what. So the conflict of interest should not affect any research. That should be important. And I already told you. See, I just wanted to give you certain rules for doing best research. See, first, if any scholars are joined, it will be important for you people. First, you should enjoy your doctoral degree, and you should do your research with very open mind, and you should develop critical thinking skills, and you should have confidence also. See, thousands of people are completed doctorate. Okay, and it doesn't mean that you may think that okay, these much of people are completed doctorate, what am I going to do with this? You're supposed to have a confidence, and you should be determined, and persistent, and you should be resilient to do something. And if you are trying to find out something, you should be very clear into that, and you should be focused into that. Okay, you should be very disciplined, and methodological. See, research cannot be done as like your interest. See, research, it is having certain code of conduct. Sorry. So you should understand it, and see, and in research, you don't think of too much of grading and teaching. You have to go to the field and learn yourself. You should learn the literature. You should take responsibility for your own research work. So and also you should talk to other doctoral fellows in the university, and you can find a study person, let's say a buddy who is being with you all the time, so that will help you much more. And you should be learn from others, and most important thing is you should finish the research. That is what very much important. See, after thinking of doing a research, first what you need to do is you need to find a better supervisor. See, you have to register in a university, and you need to have the track record of whether in which field you're chosen, whether you're getting that research or what, and try to pick an active supervisor. And sometimes here, you cannot pick a supervisor. Whoever coming, you need to take them as a guide anyway. So pick a research, active supervisor, and share your research interests, so that then only it will be perfect for you to come up and finish your research. If you are, if your, if your guide is not supporting you, cannot do the research at time. So try to maintain a better relationship with your research supervisor, and understand. You should know what the research supervisor will do, and based on that, you need to extract work from him. And after that, third important thing is you need to choose a better research question. Okay, the research question that interests you. For example, if a research doctoral dissertation takes 4 to 6 years, means you should have finished it before 4 to 6 years, and you should get published, and all your work should be included into that, and your viva and everything should be completed, right? You should you should not do it until 10 years. So you need to find a research like that. You need to find a topic and research question that makes for a substantial contribution to the literature, right? To what does this unique aspect will add the value? What are the commonly held beliefs on your topic? What are the correct current explanations on the questions, doubts, you know how knowledge on this topic can be developed. So all these things you need to work on it. And see, when it comes about research, there is a three bricks on the wall of knowledge. Okay, it should give a proper contribution to the for example, literature. So that is something important. It should be capability, it should be capable of three, the publication should be capable of generating three papers. That is what I'm telling. So three papers supposed to come from your research. You have to do a research like that, then only it is considered as a best research. Okay, even many people are there. They will do 4 and 5 articles out of one research paper. At least minimum three supposed to be there. And you have to choose a topic based on your interest to teach. For example, if you are into accounting, you wanted to teach accounting, so find an interesting topic in that category. That is something important. And try to write at least at least a decent dissertation proposal. That is something important. See, if you do not know the outline structure of a dissertation proposal, then you cannot write a report. So that is what I'm telling you. You have to at least write 10 dissertation proposals for writing an article. So summarize at least 10 articles. That is something good. And while working with your supervisor, the fourth point, what you need to do is, you should have a regular meetings with your supervisor. See, sometimes, right, many people will not go and meet their guide also. So once in every month at least, you have to go and meet your guide. That is something important, so that you know um so then only you can plan, and based on that, your supervisor will give you some work, so that the research will be productive. So, and once in a while, give your supervisor and what work you are done in a paper, as a report. And if your as a supervisor is giving you advice, take it, take notes of it. And most important thing is, you need to listen and respond to your supervisor's advice. Okay, now you are conducting research. While conducting research, you should have a proper doctoral completion plan, and you should make sure that this doctoral completion plan should be comprehensive, and try to meet your own deadlines, and try to identify the key milestones in your plan. That is something important. And complete your coursework at fast as possible, because you need to write the dissertation in the next, the next process will be dissertation you have to complete. So try to complete your coursework as fast as possible and become a world's expert in on your theory. See, on your theory. For example, see, for if you're writing something, if you're presenting something, if somebody is asking question into it, you need to be answer. You need to answer for it. So that is how it will go, right? Because you are the master of your work, so you should be expert in your own dissertation and your own research. That is something important. And while doing research, you should be very much, familiar with the university's policies on research. And whenever if you find some time to present your work, you can present on conferences, you know, and sometimes try to get feedback. See, for example, if you wanted to get a feedback, or if you wanted to get more ideas about your research, first you should go and tell it to your colleagues. If you say the title and if you say the concept right, they will give you n number of suggestions and they will give you n number of problems are associated with the research. That is important. That is what I'm telling you. We have to learn from the others. So by attending the seminars, by going and presenting our paper in the seminars and conferences, we'll come out with more number of ideas. So while conducting research, getting more amount of inputs and learning it from the other people, it is more important. Okay. While writing the dissertation, I'm telling you. While writing the dissertation, you have to learn how to write. You need to know how to make an argument in your dissertation, and fix, fixing a proper model of the dissertation and following the university regulations. Sorry. So you should start writing this table of contents, and you should go on with the structure of the dissertation and how it should be. For that you should go through some for example, if you're doing master of philosophy, you should go to MPhil research thesis, and you can get some idea. If for example, if you're doing PhD, then you have to take a PhD thesis, and you can take a look at it, so that you will get more idea. And uh, first of all while preparing the while preparing the thesis, you need to prepare the thesis, a master document. Okay. If at all, if any losses take place, you're supposed to keep a master document in your hand. Okay. So that will be and keep it as we have to keep separate files based on it. And all the time we have to back up the copies, and we need to save it, and sometimes we have to store it in a what you call it, cloud also. And mostly we need to read a bit and write a bit. That's what. See, we should not only write. First we should read. We should read carefully. We should read the other dissertations. That's what I told. So after after reading it, then you will come for an idea and how to write a research dissertation. So try to write almost a day, so that you'll be fine, and it will strengthen your writing. And choose a great title first. Okay, I already told you. So if you're doing a if you identified a problem, and try to come up with 3 4 titles, better titles, so that your guide or supervisor will give you some more idea. And before after creating this all research title and other things, give them give your supervisor or university a better abstract or synopsis, so that you will come to know what can be added. And while doing it, Try to add some more signposts like subheadings. Add subheadings. Don't write it on the stretch. Try to give some subheading so that it will lubricate the reading readers. Okay, see, the reader should not feel tired while reading your dissertation. So that is something very very important. And see, sometimes in every research, these limitations will take place, but you should not overtook it. Okay, and try to do it and complete a literature review. Try to add and try to collect as much as research reviews. For example, if Mendeley is there, it's a beautiful resource manager. You can go and collect n number of resources from there. So try to collect more resource and read. And you know like for example, think like you are telling a story. Try to write a dissertation like you are telling a story. So that is something important. So choose your citation and referencing system at the outset, and try to do a proofread. Somebody will not do the proofread. So there, after the during the submission, we can see n number of mistakes in their dissertation. So that is something wrong. So during and after completing proofreading, publishing, writing, after binding, you will come for you submit it, and then the viva will come. So the same university regulation you just follow, and uh, try to with the help of your supervisor, try to select the better examiner. You know the examiner who will not what to say, will not be a barrier to your research. So your PhD examiner will also help you to get published. So try to do the viva in a better way. Try to know the audience and understand the purpose of viva, and even sometimes try to do a mock viva. And you have to anticipate certain questions while doing the viva, and we have to you have to take note of the questions also. And while you are presenting in the viva, you should be very confident and authoritative. You should you should be defending, you should be defend the questions, but it should not be very defensive actually. See, you are being asked for a you know uh, you know you ask people for a viva just to defend yourself, to check out your knowledge. So you should not be defensive in viva. And that's what, if at all any changes they wanted you to make, and try to make. After that, you can easily publish your doctoral study. So publication process you need to know. And it is like publication process is like a snake and ladder only. You may not expect it will publish it at a stretch. So it takes some time. So you go, write a paper and give review to your supervisor. So he will give you how to take on this research. So if you come to, if you try to know how to write the research, see, first you need to identify the original work and manuscript, and you should submit it. Then they will review it, and after that they will give the um, uh, they will take the decision. For example, if it is accepted, it will go for publication. If not, you have to work on the paper and try to submit it. So this is how it will go. So research, it is like it is. I told you, stakes and ladder only. So we may not expect what we are. We may not expect our research work to be published at a stretch anyway. So they will check on our credibility and credibility of writing, and based on that only our research work will be published. So there are better starters than me, but I'm a strong finisher. It is told by Usain Bolt. So I hope today something good has happened to me, that I got a chance to you know. I do not know whether I'm seeing you or what. I got a chance to share some of my views to you. So thank you for the management and Krishna Swami, Sri Krishna Swami College of Arts and Science for Women. So thank you so much. And if at all, if any questions or you wanted to add any point, we can do it. The most important thing is you should take your research, you should enjoy your doctoral studies. Then only you will do, you know, you will perform better. Or otherwise, and you should know, in which ground which you're, in which ground you're playing and what role you need to do. And if you know that, then only your research work will be very easy. If you can you see, for example, there are some people, they'll say that this statistics, all this analysis are becoming bore as because it deals with numerics, so that they will hire somebody and try to do the work. But whatever it may be, if you hire somebody, it is okay. Sometimes you can hire a statistician. Maybe they will help you because it is quite predominant in everywhere. People will go and ask for the statistician help. But knowing those I mean analysis, and knowing those things, even these are all you know SPSS kind of stuffs are there in um, Microsoft Excel also. Even you can do it in there itself. So my humble request is, enjoy your doctoral study and try to learn things. Okay, and it is for the sake of starting also, you need to enjoy the doctoral study, and for the sake of ending also, you need to enjoy the doctoral study. Then only you will finish your work. So that is what. So thank you so much. And if there is any question, we can go on.
Sir, we go for a question session, sir. Any
Yeah.
doubts, participants, please ask.
See, actually, I connected through phone, so that is what I couldn't switch on this video actually. Stop screen.
Participants, if any question,
Ma'am, how many participants are joined actually?
participants is in a live program 25, sir.
Okay.
But after that, views will be near to 500 to 600, sir.
So they
Uh,
will,
yeah, yeah.
after they in
Uh,
their convenient time they will see.
yes,
Okay.
sir. Yes, sir. The view will be near to 600 views. It will be good.
Mm, okay. But anyway, that's what people think. If if they are joining under somebody's guideship, they need to take things very carefully, and they should listen to their supervisor's word in a better way. Then only it will be easy.
One question is there, sir.
How do I identify risks in my research and minimize them? Okay. See, risks in research are only found while you are doing research, and it may be any kind of risk. For example, mm, there are certain studies the scholars will take. Okay, that cannot be completed within within the stipulated time which is allotted for research. For example, 4 years, right? 4 years, within that timeline you have to finish it. And certain risk, certain studies will take you more than that, because collecting data and quantifying the data and doing analysis and interpreting and coming up with the suggestion and conclusion, it will take more time. Sometimes that will also be a risk. And some, sometimes if you take something very serious, in some serious topics which you take, right? For example, mm, see, some 2 3 days before some honor killing, somebody was he got um, three he got some jail, imprisonment and all. Mm. So if you take certain things for taking research, and you will fall into very big risk then. And if you wanted to find out, see, there is a movie called Erin Bronkovich. It is all about a company, a very big company. They're using chromium as their raw material, but while doing the production, that chromium they are making it to leach into the water. So that is indulged into the groundwater, and that was causing trouble in the people of US, in the people of that particular area, Hinckley or something like that. In that area, it is causing cancer, and the children are getting sick, and it causes n number of problems. See, if you wanted to, the same kind of story, it is prevalent in India also, with the company called Vivanta, Vedanta, sorry, Vedanta, speak, speak, Adana. So that company, something like that. If you take something serious, and if you try to find out some answer for it, so that will cause you trouble. That is what.
So another question is there, sir. What is the difference between research paper and review paper?
Research paper and review paper. See, I'm not I didn't get you. Sorry, maybe I'll find out and tell you. But actually, the review, normally I told you, right, the um, duplication of submission. Some people, what they will do is they wanted to get some review. For that sake, they will submit it to somebody. Okay, I mean 2 or 3 journals, and they will give you their review, out of which they will correct their research and they will submit it. So this is what I I'm into, but I'm not able to get through this review paper. Maybe I'll learn it and tell you. Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you. But actually, the thing is, right, if any scholars are being attending these rules, if they follow it for research, it will be better. So that is what my view actually. And without knowing where the research will end up, if we take the research to for example, how many years it will go, and what serious or what is the depth of the problem. First, we need to do a better layout to come up with predetermined idea. It should not be biased actually. We should come up with an idea of how many years it takes, and what sort of a sample it may require. All these things we should come up. We should do a small pilot study, and that will help our research to come up with a very good solution anyway. So thank you all.
So thank you, sir. Let me go for the vote of thanks.
Thank you, ma'am.
Now we have come to an end of today's session. I express my heartfelt gratitude to our resource person of the day, Dr. S. Balamurugan, sir, for sharing your valuable knowledge with us on the research ethics, and also for answering the queries of the participants. I would like to thank the management, dean, principal, and HOD for their support and encouragement in organizing this FDP. I would also like to thank all the participants for their active participation. Once again, thank you all.
Thank you all.
Thank you, sir.